So pitch the ball. Let me turn my camera on so you guys can see my pretty face.
Hey, you look good today.
All right. So pitch ball, right? Because there's a difference if it's a pitch ball or if it's a hit ball or a thrown ball, right?
Correct.
Would we agree?
I would agree.
Right? So it's important to know the status of the ball.
One base versus two, I believe.
Okay. So if one base goes to the batter on a pitch lodges in a defensive player's or umpire's uniform or equipment on ball four, right? So clearly, batter's going to get one base in that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're looking at the table. Runners get one base on a balk. Pitch thrown out of play from the pitcher's plate. Throw from the pitcher's plate goes out of play. Unintentional catch and carry. Catches obstruction. Force, because batter is ordered first. Or pitch strikes the runner. Okay, so that doesn't apply, right? So
correct.
One base, specifically batter. Walk, pitch thrown out of play, ball four. Batter is obstructed, hit by pitch, runner interference. Pitch lodges in defensive player or umpire's uniform or equipment on ball four. Now, they do say specifically for ball four, right? So
yes, I got to strike three.
Well, hold on. So we know the batter is out. Or is he? Let me keep running. Let me keep going. Two bases for the batter and the runners. Right. So anything that says fair batted, I'm going to ignore. Live thrown ball or pitch touched by an illegal glove or mitt. Okay, well that's not applied.
That's what we do not have that.
Ball or pitch touched by detached player equipment, which is thrown, tossed, kicked, or held. Well, that's not it, right?
We do not have that.
No. Let's find, because it's not in the table, right? So
nope.
I know my answer. I'm just working you through it.
No, I appreciate this.
Okay. So each runner, other than batter runner, who is governed by 812, is order one base win, right? We kind of skip through some of these. Each runner is awarded. It's not 4 bases. We know that, right? It's not 3 bases. We know that. Let's start looking at 2 bases. 2 bases, if a fair batted or thrown ball becomes dead because of bouncing over or passing through a fence or lodges in a defensive player's or umpire's equipment or uniform. That's a fair batted or thrown ball. So it's not a fair ball. Ball wasn't hit, right?
We do not have that, correct.
Okay. Or if a live thrown ball, including a pitch, is touched by an illegal glove or mitt or by detached player equipment, which is thrown, tossed, kicked, or held. So that's not it. Goes in the stands, not it. The 2 runners are on base, that's not it. Again, runner. So 1 base if a pitch or any throw by the pitcher from the pitching position on the pitcher's plate goes into a stand or bench or over or through or lodges in a fence or backstop or touches a spectator or lodges in an umpire's or catcher's equipment. Whew. So 1 base, right? So yes, your thought process is right. Where if it gets lodged in a player or equipment on a pitch, it is 1 base to the batter runner and the runners. So the batter is not out. The batter would get first base on it if it's strike 3. Where it can be confusing is if the ball goes to the backstop and gets lodged, same pitched ball, if it's lodged in a fence, it's 2 bases, right? So know that distinction. Does that make
repeat that? If a pitched ball gets lodged under the padding, the batter runner would get 2 bases. It's not a thrown ball; it's a pitched ball.
They get 2 bases from the time of the pitch. If it goes, hang on, we talked 2 bases. 1 base. Oh, you're right. It's 1. Sorry, 1 base.
So in this scenario, even though this is what messed me up, is strike three. Even though it's a strike three, it
With
gets
2 outs?
lodged. I mean, it doesn't say how many outs. It's just that the B1 swings and misses the third strike. The ball is lodged in the catcher's protector. While everyone's looking, B1 advances to second. I'm thinking it's a lodged ball, dead ball, and B1 is only awarded first, is what I selected.
B1 is awarded second. Oh, B1 is awarded first. And it doesn't sound like there's any other runners on base. So he only gets first base. Correct.
All right. Yeah, good. Okay, I got one right. Thank you. I got a 2 on my test.
All right, who else has questions? Otherwise, I have a list of questions I can go through. All right, I'll share my screen. We'll just start going through some questions. Some of them I prepared. Sure. Okay. We're going to ignore the first one because I don't know what the hell they're asking. If the third baseman takes the field wearing this glove, the coach says it's illegal and should be removed. I don't know the answer to this question. Did anybody else have this and submit it? Take that as a no.
What would make the glove illegal? It doesn't say what would make the glove illegal.
There's supposed to be a picture.
Oh, I didn't get any pictures in my
There
test.
is no picture. Right, so there's clearly no picture here.
I think they removed those questions from the test.
They
The
did.
pictures.
They did. Oh man. Oh, of course, my questions are all now all out of order again, right?
Mhm.
All right. Well, these were on the test at some point in time, so I don't feel right sharing my test specifically and going through it, but we'll go through this one. All right, so we're going to ignore that. Coach may challenge a judgment called by an umpire and demand the umpire confer with his partner.
That's a false statement.
No, I don't like answers like this. And where's our resident lawyer? Our resident lawyer is here. Hi, Bill. I mean, they can.
Hello.
They can demand it. Doesn't mean they're going to get it, right?
That's the legal response would be kiss my ass.
Yes, it's false. Okay. Which statement about a slide on a forced play is true? Contact occurring on top of a base because of a pop-up slide is illegal. A slider's momentum in the vicinity of the base may legally carry him through the base and the baseline extended. Any forced play, the runner must slide regardless of his position in relation to the base, or none of the above.
Well, this smells like a trick question to me. But A feels like the right answer is what I selected.
Okay. So let's
okay.
go off of let's go off of the book versus a feeling, right? So early in the book, rule 2, right? A slide is illegal if, right, the runner uses a rolling cross body or pop-up slide into the fielder.
That's where I got my A answer.
So it's A, right? And it's the best answer.
Well, it makes it tricky sounding question because it puts on top of the base.
Correct, but every pop-up slide is illegal if contact is made.
All right, I thought they were tricking me on that.
All right. Defensive malicious contact causes the ball to be
A. Oh, it might be more. I don't know.
immediately dead. The
No.
ball is always immediately dead on malicious contact.
Yeah. A.
Okay. With a runner on first, 1 out, and a 2-1 count, R1 is stealing on the pitch. B3 swings and fouls the pitch so it bounces directly off F2's chest protector into the air. F1 dives and catches the ball before it hits the ground. What do we got? Runner on first. A pitch
No, that's a foul ball.
off the bat hits the catcher's chest protector and goes into the air.
That's a foul ball.
It's a foul tip. No,
Is it a foul tip?
That's a foul ball.
no, not a
Foul
foul tip.
ball. The ball has to go directly to the glove or the mitt in order for it to be a foul tip. The ball comes off the catcher into the air, and the pitcher catches it. That's a foul ball, dead ball.
Any other guesses?
Yes, see,
C is the answer.
All right, foul tip is a batted ball that goes directly to the catcher's hands and is legally caught. So this didn't go directly to his hands, right? So it cannot be a foul tip. So it is either B or C. Right? And so if we're using our test taking skills, right, since it cannot be A or D, because it's not a foul tip, now you're looking at B or C. Is there any situation where a foul ball is live?
no,
No.
Can't be foul if it's live. If it's live, it's live. If it's foul, it's dead. Right? So it has to be C.
Did you have a foul tip that goes off the glove into the chest protector and then he like gathers it in and secures position? That's a foul tip, right?
That is correct because it
Because it hit the glove first
hands first. Yeah.
for the hand. Well, hand.
All right.
yeah, if it hits the hand first.
Runners in second and third, no out. B8 hits a fly ball towards left field. During the swing, the bat tips F2's glove. So we have catcher's obstruction here, right? Catcher's interference. F7 catches the fly ball. R3 legally tags and scores. R2 does not advance. So here are our options. The play automatically stands because a run was scored. The offensive coach may choose between the play and the penalty. The ball is dead and B8 is called out for interference. I don't know why you would call the. Okay. Penalty is B1 is awarded first and the other runners are awarded one base.
B.
B. B. Do we give them an option? Do we tell them you have an option?
No.
What do we do?
Shut up. And make
No,
the
So you don't just
You
shut
have-
up. What do?
You
have to do
enforce the
something, right?
obstruction. You enforce the obstruction, and then when the coach comes out and wants the option, you give him the option of either taking the play or taking the enforcement on the penalty.
Exactly.
right.
So essentially, B is the answer, but it's not written that way on your test question.
And that's because not every runner advanced to base. If that was a base hit and every runner advanced one base, we ignore it, right?
Right.
And there is no option to the coach.
That is correct, I believe, yes.
Okay. A player has a small amount of blood on his pants at his knee. What would we do?
Is it exposed? Oh, I gotta read the question. I'm sorry, I gotta pay attention.
Amputate.
Take to the hospital.
911.
It's a stupid question.
It's on the test, though.
I know.
This was on my test before they decided to redo all the questions.
It's still on the test.
It is still on there? Okay.
I think
was on mine,
technical
too.
answer. The technical answer is going to be A. I believe is what they're going to want.
Correct. They want A. Okay. The game begins when? When does the game begin? When does our
After the
jurisdiction
national-
start?
When we walk on, no, when the game begins.
When the game begins, but when does the game begin?
That's like rule 1. Who the hell looks at that?
I know, right?
Rule 3. It's rule 3. It's rule 3 somewhere.
Not 1, but 1 tells you how thick the foul line is supposed to be.
Yeah, I know.
So when does the game begin?
It's rule 4. Hold on.
You say play.
D. Unless it's
The
PG.
game
then it's
begins when
B.
the umpire call. The game begins when the umpire calls play and all infielders, pitchers, catchers are in batter in position to start the game. Rule 4.2, Article 5. So it's going to be D, I guess.
D.
D.
Yep.
You know, one thing about this test, you really get to learn the rule book.
Yes, you do. All right. The batters follow through from his swing contacts the catcher as R1 is standing on first. Making no attempt to advance, interference shall be declared on the batter.
False.
False.
Good job. With the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the last inning, the score is tied. I think we went over this one. B6 is hit by the pitch and is awarded first base. R3 legally touches home and scores, and B6 legally advances and touches first. R2 starts towards third but joins the celebration near first before he touches third.
You all hold your breath and hope no one's watching. This happened to me, by the way, last year. We all held our breath and nothing happened, and we got out of there.
That's exactly what I would tell you to do, but that's not what the test wants you to do.
Oh, goodness gracious. This is on my test. What's the answer?
The answer is D.
Is D.
Yes, the defense didn't. When I said held my breath, the defense didn't appeal, and everyone's shaking hands. And when we left the field.
We're going with D on that, Tyrone. That's what the test wants.
Yep, that's what the test want.
I have that question somewhere also.
I got it right, by the way, so I'm just letting you know.
Awesome. All right. With R1 on first base and 1 out, B3 hits a sharp ground ball that is deflected by F1 towards F4. So it's off the pitcher and is going towards the runner at second. As F4 is attempting to field the ball, he is contacted by R1, who is running directly towards second base. Now, if you were paying attention to our clinics the last few weeks, you will actually have this answer. What do we got?
It'd be D. R1 is out on interference. And it made sense once I started thinking about it, because I watched your clinic, is that I thought the same thing. If the shortstop misses a ball, but if the third baseman is right there and contact is made, it'd still be interference. Because he would still have a legitimate shot on fielding the ball. So, yeah, D is the answer in that particular scenario. As you pointed out, it's not, or the fielder has the legitimate. It's not, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely. It is D. All right, with R1 on first.
Hey, Steve, hang on, quick question, it's Mark. Hey, so let's take that interference scenario. Let's put a guy on first, second, and third bases loaded, 1 out. Infield fly rule. Guy hits a pop fly to the first baseman. The runner at first takes off, hits the first baseman.
Okay.
On the infield fly.
Okay.
How many outs you got?
Well, what do you got? You tell me what the sequence of events. What do we got?
Infield fly, batters out.
So we
Then
got
I'd
2
have
outs
the runner.
now, right?
Then I have the runner out.
Why is the runner out?
For interference.
Well, for interference, because if he may have caught or may have not dropped the ball, so that would depend on the runner at third tagging up or not.
You are absolutely correct. I was just
Okay.
pressing.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure.
2 outs. However, if they're on the base, unless they do something intentional, it's not interference.
Yeah, no, off the base. Obviously, he ran. So
Hey, Mark, just so
Yeah.
you said that, I had that in a state tournament, by the way. It was
well, I
in-
saw this exact scenario last night at a travel ball game. I just happened to be there with a friend watching the game, and the umpire totally screwed the pooch on the call. So
yeah, you got to get both of them. And the good thing about
Yeah.
me,
Tyrone likes outs.
yeah, you got to get both of them. That happened twice. That happened in a 15U state tournament, and it also happened in a 10U state tournament.
Wow. Yeah.
But whereas an infield fly would be a live ball, with the interference, you're going to kill it and get the 2 outs.
That's correct. Because infield
Right.
fly automatically get the batter, right? And now you interfere with him making the catch, we're gonna get that automatic. Boom.
Yep.
Give him 2 outs there.
And the other 2 runners return to their bases.
Yeah. Well, in that scenario, it's a 3rd out, so it really doesn't matter. But if it was 0 outs, then yes, that'd be correct.
Well, you can't have an infield fly with 2 outs.
No,
There
1
you
out,
go.
but you got 2.
1 out. You're right. I can't do math. I'm sorry.
All right. Next, R1 on first base and R2 on second. Batter 4 gets a base hit. R2 is held up by the third base coach as he rounds trying to score. He slips as he tries to stop, contacts the third base coach, and gets up and scrambles back to third. The umpire judges the contact was accidental.
Hey.
It is A. This was my rant last year on about if the different types of assistance. But clearly, in my opinion, accidental is one thing.
And soon as the
Yeah, that
soon as
was
the
on my
umpire
test.
said that it was, soon as the umpire said it was accidental, you have nothing.
All right. Next. Base is empty. B1 swings and misses at the third strike. The ball lodges behind the catcher's touch. We just went over that. I'm skipping that.
You're welcome.
With R1 on first, R2 on second, and 1 out. Batter 4 bunts a ball high into the air between F1 and F2. So we got runners on first and second, 1 out, a bunted ball. F1 easily settles under the ball, but allows it to fall to the ground untouched. He then picks up the ball, and the defense turns an easy double play.
Hey,
That's what I picked. I picked A.
All right. So I'm going to press you here. Why is this not an intentionally dropped ball?
you didn't touch it.
The book specifies that he must glove the ball to the ground. And if he did not do that, then it is not considered an intentional dropped ball.
I don't know if it says that he must glove it to the ground, but the reason being is right when it said it is untouched.
Yep.
Because if he touched it and let it go, then we got intentional drop. But he never touched it according to the book. So that's why the play will stand.
And this will happen once or twice this year.
It's
Yeah,
happened to
also,
me. I called it
it's
wrong
not
the
an
first time.
Wouldn't it be infield fly?
No,
Why is it not an infield fly? Well, don't answer it. Mark,
Because
why is
I mean,
it not an infield fly?
Let me ask you.
Runners on first and second.
Because it's not an easily catchable ball.
It's a
Hold on.
bunted ball. That's why it's not an
Is
infield
that what
fly.
you're saying?
Bunted
Because
ball.
it's bunted.
It
Yeah,
is
but a
a-
bunt. I mean, I've seen a bunt go up, 20 feet in the air, and somebody can just camp out under the thing and catch it too. So
but it's not an infield fly because it's a bunt.
A bunt cannot be an infield fly.
Now I got a question because I've seen this at a middle school game. What happens if your partner calls an infield fly on that same scenario? What do you do?
You said what?
This happened to me in a middle school game where that happened, and my partner in the field called infield fly.
Okay.
What do you do? Do you do a reset, which is kind of what I did, but I didn't know what to do.
Throw your partner under the bus.
All right, so this,
He's brand new. He's brand new.
I think this is a good point. This is a good thing to talk about because it happens, right? I think we probably all called an infield fly where maybe it shouldn't have been before throughout our career, right? I know I have. So let's talk about what we do if there is because it's actually called an inadvertent infield fly. So if there is an inadvertent infield fly, the onus is still on the players to know the rules. Okay. So you would go back and make the batter not automatically out and put runners on the bases where you feel they would have made.
All right. There's no easy way out of that, but yeah, you're right.
There's not. If they get an out, though, leave the out because they probably tagged them, right? Keep the out. But it's an inadvertent infield fly. It happens. It's like football with an inadvertent whistle, but we don't get to redo it.
Yeah, but it's specifically addressed in football. All right, cool. Thank you. No, that makes sense. You're just in a hole, and you got to dig your way out.
All right. The head coach is very upset about a close call at first base, and during the discussion, he bumps the base umpire. By a rule, the umpire should
Gone.
Get on the bus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And then what do you do after the game, after you eject them? Who are you falling?
Rolo.
Falling Rolo. Maybe the police too, but definitely Rolo. All right. The penalty for misuse of electronic communication equipment is, what is the penalty?
See,
C. It's a
C.
warning on the first offense.
Awesome.
You know, and you know what? Also, that is on the new rule change that they sent out from Fasha for us to look at. So yeah, that was good. That's a good one.
Yep. How many defensive conference mound visits are allowed in a National Federation high school game before the pitcher must be removed from the mound?
A.
Three. Yeah. A.
Okay, so what you're saying is on the third visit, they have to pull
Oh my goodness, this is a trick question. No,
Huh?
they're allowed 3 visits without pulling.
them. So on the fourth one, you're allowed to have that fourth one, right? But he pulls him.
You're allowed to have any.
Or the
How many
pitcher must be
different
removed. So I have
It's 3 before he must be pulled. 3.
So A is the answer. Clarification.
I have A. Correct.
A. Thank you. Okay. I hate this test. They try to trick you.
Yeah, this isn't a good one. It's just worded bad. It should be on which number conference does the pitcher must be removed? They must be removed from the fourth one, on the fourth one. With a runner on first base, the batter hits a ground ball to the second baseman. Second baseman attempts to tag the runner advancing from first, but misses. The second baseman then throws to first, but sails the ball into the dugout. The runner and batter runner are awarded. What are they awarded?
C. 2 bases from the time of the throw.
Okay, why is it the time of the throw? Just
That's
pressing.
the rule.
Why? I know that's the rule. But why is it the throw and not the pitch?
Because he tried to make a play on a runner going to second base.
Bingo. So that runner at second, if he gets to second before that throw happens, you would award him home. You are going to have a
Correct.
very, 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 very angry defensive coach. I promise.
So let me expand on that, Steve.
With the angry coach?
No. So you've got a ground ball. You've got a ground ball shortstop.
Yep.
He boots it and he takes a few steps and then picks it up and makes the throw, goes out of play.
Yep.
My understanding that that's two bases from the time of the pitch, because that first attempt to field the ball is not a play.
Correct. What do you need for a play?
Well, you need possession of the ball and then some further action, I would think.
Okay. So what are 3 things you always need for a play? You need 3 things every time, right? So what are they? If you don't have those
fielder
3
and a
things,
runner.
you never have a play. What'd you say, Carl?
The ball, the fielder, and the runner.
Exactly. So if he boots the ball, you're missing one of those. You're missing the runner. You can't have a play. Right?
So if he kicks the ball out of play, it's still a pitched ball and only is one base? Is that
No,
what
if
you're
he
saying?
kicks the ball, it's a hit ball. You give everybody 2 bases from the time of the pitch. Unless it
Well, I
was
lost you.
intentional, then you give them 3.
It depends on the score at that point.
I might give them 4 if it's 9-0. Right? All right. Let's talk next one. A live ball is not immediately dead. When? I like this one. This is a good one. Somebody other than Carl or Tyrone.
I noticed something when the guy talking here.
I know. Somebody other than Carl and Tyrone. And Bill. Bill, you talk. You are always in on this. So somebody other than those 3.
Why don't you call people, Steve?
Joe. You're next to Bill. A live ball is not immediately dead when? Joe G. Michael James.
B.
I know the answer. I know the answer.
It is B. Good. Starting pitcher listed on the lineup card is required to Charles. Mickey or Mikey?
Oh, my bad. I thought I was muted. It's C.
C. A live ball is not immediately dead when the ball lodges into the umpire's uniform. Why?
Wait a minute.
No, I thought you said number 20, the pitcher. Is listed on the lineup card.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I was reading wrong.
Yeah.
C. Must, so you're saying C, must pitch a minimum of 3 consecutive batters.
No.
Why?
Oh, no.
Alpha.
It's A.
It is A. Right, you must pitch to 1 until a runner, the first hitter becomes a runner is put out.
Hey,
What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't come out to the mound?
What?
What's the penalty if the starting pitcher listed on the lineup card does not pitch to that first hitter or to the first hitter? What's the penalty?
He can stay in the game, but he just can't pitch.
Yep.
Bill, he said not you.
Oh, come on, Ty.
I'm holding my tongue because he said
Bill,
not
we
me.
know you know the answers, bruh. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Steve,
I'm gonna
Steve,
mute
can
my
you go back to
screen. so I don't
19
put up
for me,
this-
please? 19? Because you said read the live ball is not immediately dead when? What did you
Lodged
say?
into a fielder's glove. Somebody answered it before.
Okay, all right, because I thought you said the uniform of the umpire. Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
see, he said C, and I looked at the wrong one, and I was asking why. And
Okay.
I'm like I said, I'm just trying to make people think.
Thank you. Bill, you on mute for now on. Do not unmute till I tell you.
All right, I'm gonna violate it right now. Has anybody had the situation in number 20 happen in a game?
Yes. Starting pitcher's line is on the away team. Second batter of the inning takes a pitch off his hand, pitching hand. Can't pitch the next half inning. So yes, but it wasn't going to happen if he didn't get hurt. Can you guys hear me?
I'm not
No.
allowed to speak, Steve.
Yeah, I put on myself on mute. What number are we on? I think we jumped.
Yeah, Bill, I'm just saying, let the other guys answer, bruh. That's all.
I got you. I got you. Good night.
Don't you leave.
I appreciate you, Bill.
All right. An assistant coach leaves his dugout to loudly argue a call by the umpire and a play at the plate. Who wants to take a shot at it? I'm gonna start calling on people again. Mikey or Mickey.
I'm not answering until you get my last name correct, sir.
Mickens, right?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, no, there's also a Mikey or a Mickey here.
I don't know.
No, there is. There's either a Mikey or Mikey. There's somebody here. I don't
that's
know
not
how
me
to
then.
pronounce it.
My apologies. My apologies.
Go ahead, Charles. It's yours.
What number we're on again? 21. I'm thinking B. I had this question. The assistant coach and the head coach shall receive a written warning, and both will be restricted to the dugout. We can't restrict the coach to the dugout, right?
You can.
Can we?
Somebody
Yeah.
said that, so we can.
I don't think Foster allows it.
That's what I was
Not in
saying.
Florida.
Fascia does not allow us to do it
You
here.
sure? You sure?
Yes. Yes, I'm sure.
I don't
You
know.
can't restrict them to the dugout. So we either gonna toss them or just give them the warning.
So it'll be C.
So just check it again and read B and C together.
So my guess is D. My answer was D on the test.
Yeah.
D.
I think it's still C.
I think it's D. That's what I answered.
It's both B and C because I think I had it on the
Yeah, because you can do B, right, Charles? Right?
right.
According to the book, so the test that we're answering is not Foster specific. It's National Federation of High School, right? So if it
Right.
says you need to restrict, we have to answer that way. So you can restrict both to the dugout, right?
Right.
You can also eject, right?
Right.
So the best answer is both.
Gotcha.
D. So D is in Delta.
10-4.
Again,
A
in
lot of that
Fascia, we don't restrict to the dugout. Right?
You're correct. Yes, you're correct.
Bill,
But I
you're
think a lot of
correct.
this question is on that the coach leaves the dugout. And to my mind, he comes onto the field to play. That's a little bit different than just staying in the dugout and yelling, it's a horrible call. If he leaves the dugout to challenge me, he's not authorized to talk to me about a bad call. I was being loud about it. Yeah.
Tyrone, what do you want us to do in this situation? You want us to run him?
Run that question by me again. What was the question?
Coach leaves his dugout to loudly argue a call. Do you want us to run him? Assistant coach.
You have to put that. You have to be in that situation, and you have to make a judgment sound. You already know that Fasha here does not allow us to restrict anyone. So we either gonna run them or you're gonna put up with it. And if you don't feel like putting up with it, you know if the assistant coach goes, the head got to follow. So that's why you got to make a judgment call.
To run the head coach. The head coach would get a restriction to the bench.
I just said we don't restrict here to the bench.
Right. But
Right.
I don't think you have to run the head coach too.
If you run the assistant, you have to run the head coach. Is that what you're saying? The coach is coming out dropping F-bombs. He's gone, but the assistant coach is coming out dropping F-bombs. The head coach is also ejected.
Who's responsible for that assistant?
Well, you are correct. As far as the test goes, you are correct. Yeah, they're both gone according to the
both
test.
shall be ejected. Now, again, I'm going to say to you, you have to take it in consideration. Let's not look at ejecting anybody. Let's just say, okay, if I had enough, that's why you got a partner, and you guys got to be able to sort this out. I say that you have a partner. You guys say, okay, this guy's been a butt all game, and then you done told the head coach, and he still ain't do nothing. You guys, I would tell you in a heartbeat, run both of them with the quickness. But if this guy came out and he just started throwing F-bombs, well, we're not going to have that. Bill, remember?
I do.
You remember? And you started, and then we give you a warning, and you still continue to throw F-bombs, then now you have no respect for us. So yeah, you got to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling this year with Gil Morales at Bishop Snyder, somebody's going to get this.
You're probably right.
So you say Gil is at Bishop Snyder now?
Yeah,
Yep.
Gil is the assistant coach at Snyder.
What is Osbeck thinking?
Oh my God.
He got let go. He got let go at Fleming Island.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to touch Gil with a 10-foot pole.
I'm just letting you know, Gil is an assistant coach. And they got a pretty good team over there this year.
Yeah, they do.
I'm okay with having a good team, but you got to be able to control yourself. And see, he gonna cause what's his name to be dumped.
Osbeck.
Well, it's Gil. Like I said, Gil thinks a lot of himself, and he's an assistant coach. And somebody's gonna run into that situation. I'd be willing to bet money on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt you, Jeremiah. I promise you when I say this. Me and Bill gave him the benefit of the doubt at the utmost, and this guy just wouldn't let go. He just wouldn't let go.
Now, I got their opener against Bernardina at Bishop Snyder. Should I just set the tone early and toss him right away? I'd be happy to do it. I'm just asking.
Put me over there, Rolo.
Hey, Steve, I got a question.
Yep.
Charles, it's probably a dumb question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. So, in the event that we're talking about, when we gotta run a assistant coach and a head coach, that's ball game, right?
No.
So, how do we go about that? Let's say have another coach.
Yes, they're gonna have 3. 9 times out of 10, they got 3 to 4 of them.
Yeah, the pitching coach or the batting coach will be in there.
10-4. Appreciate the answer.
Hey, Charles, that's a good question, though. That is a good question.
And if, by the way, if you run a coach, he needs to leave the field area, like go to the parking lot. That game that Ty and I had last year where we dumped Gil, and at the half inning, I go over to the side to grab some water, and the AD says to me, "You know, Gil hasn't left. He's hiding behind the visitors' dugout." And I said, all right, please walk him out.
Out of sight, out of sound. Don't want to hear him. Don't want to see him. I don't care where he goes after that. All right. Smith, The number 5 hitter strains his knee sliding into second base on a double. He is not able to continue, and the team does not have a substitute available. Who's going to take a shot at this?
Is Smith safe?
Who wants to take a shot? Mark. What do you got?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Couldn't tell if I was muted or not. Which one is that? Rolando's texting me and shit. Hang on.
Number 22.
Wait, I gotta get my screen back on there. Stand by. All right, I gotta see the question. Smith number 5 hitter strains his knee. He's not able to continue. Okay, so batted on the base. The most recent batter not on base is allowed to run for Smith. And the other thing, it doesn't continue to do so. It's C, but it doesn't also say that if he comes back up in the lineup, he's out. It's an out. But
Correct. If he's not able to continue later.
That's a good hint.
yeah, I am
Right.
here on the call, Rolando.
Infield fly is a fair fly that Michael.
D, none of the above.
None of the above. Awesome. All right. The head coach has recorded a clear video of a close play at home. For the next pitch, the plate umpire may review a replay of the recording to render a decision. Please don't. I'm just gonna
Hope
tell
nobody missed this.
do not look at video during the game. I am all for watching video after the game. It's how you become a better official.
I like C.
I encourage you to get a game changer app. It's tax deductible. It's like $9, $20 for the season, right? Watch yourself. Do not watch it during the game. So this has to be illegal, right?
Wait a minute, no,
Right.
because the rule book says it's only prohibited. Well, what you say the answer was?
This is prohibited. It is
Yeah,
prohibited.
P
What's
is
the penalty?
There is no penalty. It's only prohibited. It doesn't say there's a penalty. I've looked this up extensively.
There used to be a penalty, right?
I don't know, but the book just says it's prohibited. It doesn't list a penalty.
Okay. If he
Should be a
continue,
penalty for being an idiot.
Well, that might be true.
continue
But
to try to show you, warn and then eject.
Yeah,
Yes,
but the
but
coach
there's no
throws, what if
penalty.
he throws the red flag?
Well, good. I hope you enjoy your red flag.
B. It's B.
thank you. I thought he said something else.
All right. A pitcher is not restricted on how to hold the ball when he is in. I don't know what E is.
Who the hell's A1? I thought of that when the question came up.
I have no idea what this is. A1 is a football answer. I don't know. When is he not restricted?
A.
Wind up. Yep.
Correct. All right, this is everybody's favorite one. We spent half a session on this one. The role of a DH is terminated for the remainder of the game when when is the role of the DH terminated? This is not telling you what type of DH.
A.
It is A. A
Doesn't
is the
matter.
best answer here. I'm going to make an argument. They're not telling us what type of DH this is. If it was B or C, if it's a player DH, is the role of DH terminated?
No.
Why not? Player DH. If it's B or C,
Yes, it would be, wouldn't it?
is the role of DH terminated?
It is in C.
I think it would be, wouldn't it? My answer was A on the test.
Oh, no, the
but-
answer is A. A is the best answer, in my opinion.
Right,
Because-
answer is the A, but however, if somebody's saying something about B, if a DH is ejected, all you do is bring another player in to be a DH.
So
Right.
What
A
if
is the
player
correct
doesn't
answer
have it?
here. However, I'm challenging you guys to think, okay, what if it's a player DH?
Would his substitute then be a player DH?
Can you substitute
You don't see
on
enough of
offense
it.
for a player DH?
Give a scenario. Give a scenario, Steve. What's that look like?
Player DH gets ejected.
Okay, there it is.
Player DH gets bench run
don't-
for.
But
That's the difference.
ejection don't matter. You just put someone else back in.
Can
And
you
you-
do that with
No.
a player DH?
You can't do that with player
No.
DH.
And the DH would be terminated because he's no longer the player DH.
So what's the rule when it comes to player DH?
I got a cheat sheet, but it's in my car and I can't go get it.
What's the rule for player DH? It's different than a regular DH, right? There's different rules in different scenarios for player DH. So let's say second baseman DH or center fielder DH or pitcher DH. Can you substitute for that player on offense?
How was DH not
Bill,
in
you
the?
can't answer this one, by the way. So we have two different types of DHs, right? So let's take a quick step back. One is a typical DH where you have Roger Clemens pitching, and his DH is Jason Giambi, right? Jason Giambi is always the designated hitter. Roger Clemens is the pitcher. He can get substituted for as many times as they have pitchers, and Jason Giambi can get substituted as many times as DH, correct? Would we agree with that assessment?
Yes.
Mhm.
Now we have a player DH. Okay. Not using the show how you have tiny rule because it is actually a different rule. We have the second baseman. He is listed on the lineup as the second baseman and the DH. What rules govern what that person can do as DH? What are those rules?
Once he's out, then DH is burnt, right?
Out as in what?
Once he's if he's
Once
ejected, I mean,
So once he's
yeah.
substituted for. So if he gets substituted on defense, the DH is killed?
No,
No, he can get substituted for on defense. Can he get
as long as
substituted?
as long as he assumes the DH spot, that substitute.
Oh, hold on. He's not assuming anything. We have a player DH. We have the player is a defensive player playing second base. That same player is also playing offense as the DH. You can substitute for that defensive player as many times as you'd like, pending they have eligibility. Would we agree with that statement?
Yes.
yes,
If you substitute for that player on offense, the role of the DH is terminated for the remainder of the game. The player DH must be in that DH spot the entire game. If he's not, the DH is terminated.
Yes, that's what I said. So if he's out, then it's gone.
Be careful. Don't say he's out.
all right, so my question, so if he's a player DH and they want to substitute for him offensively, he can't play second base still? Because he
Correct.
still does. Okay, so basically, you're just the guy who substitutes for him offensively has to assume his defensive role, and then he can re-enter in that position as the defensive player and the hitter in that position only. Correct? No DH.
That's correct.
Copy.
So if he's ejected, do you think this applies?
Well, obviously, he's
No.
not coming back if he gets ejected.
Right.
Yeah.
So the DH is terminated if the DH is a player DH and he gets ejected.
Yes.
Right. And so if he's a pinch runner and he's used for the DH and it's a player DH, he is also terminated for the game. There's no DH left, right?
Correct.
He's on offense. So I don't like this question. I don't. Because what kind of DH is it? I think A is the best answer here, because if the DH assumes a defensive position, well, the DH can't assume a defensive position as a player DH, but they can kill it at any point in time, right? They can just come to you and say, I don't want to use the DH anymore. He's just a second baseman, right? So he assumes a defensive position. So the best answer is A, but I wanted to make you guys think back to our last session. Okay.
Hey, Steve,
Yes, sir.
is this the only question you don't like?
No.
Okay, just wondering.
But I
You
think
can
this
tell
one,
us which ones you do like.
Now let's just go to C. If a pinch runner runs for the DH re-enters, he still re-enters as the DH, correct?
no, he can re-enter as, because at that point the DH is killed, he can re-enter in defensive position because he still has pending. He has eligibility.
Hey,
available.
So if he's DHing for the pitcher and they pinch run for him in the bottom of the fifth,
This is
the
a
only
player.
way. No, I'm talking about just the regular defensive designated hitter spot.
Regular
All right.
defense.
So he's DHing for the pitcher.
Yep.
They pinch run for the DH. The only way the original DH can come back in that spot is if he comes back as the pitcher.
No.
The
Can I
batting
ask?
spot.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
All right, Jeremiah, you getting it confused, right? Because he was going with the player DH. Just remember, if you're the player DH and somebody comes in offense for you, you're done. But a regular DH that is DHing for the pitcher has the same authority as a re-entry. So if somebody comes in the
so
pitcher,
I'm not talking about a player DH. I'm just talking about the DH in particular. If we forget
Yes,
player
sir.
DH.
Yes,
So
sir.
if a DH gets on first base
Yes.
and they put a faster runner on
Yes, sir.
to try to stay out of a double play,
Yes, sir.
but they want the original DH to come back in the lineup.
Yes, sir.
When he comes back in the lineup, he is still the DH for whatever position he was DHing for, correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct. Because
Okay.
he has the same re-enter rule as all the other 9 players.
Okay, that's all I was asking.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Now the coach, if he wanted to, in re-entering that player, isn't forced to re-enter him as a DH only. He could say, I want him to come in, bat in that same 3-hole, and play third base, and then the DH would be killed, and we'd be back to a 9-man lineup, right?
Correct.
You can kill the DH at any point in time. Okay. All right, I'm going to ignore two-way communication. We already talked about malicious contact, right? F1 throws to first to attempt a pickoff, so number 29 here. F3 drops to his knee to block the entire base before catching the ball and attempting to tag R1. What do we got?
See,
What number? What letter?
C.
C,
B,
B,
E,
D.
D, A, B, C, D.
D is in Delta, or B is in boy.
I'm going with C as in Charlie. C as in Carl.
D is in Carl, B is in boy, D is in dog. Oh, we got 3 different answers, guys.
D,
What are you saying, Rollo?
Charlie.
Charlie. But we did
No,
have
Carl.
we
Carl's
did have
better.
3 different answers. Who said D is in Delta? Somebody said D is in Delta. Who said D is in Delta?
Don't hold back now.
I'm not gonna say it now.
D,
You like
dog, is an MLB rule, not a high school rule. High school
Right.
only says you may not obstruct the runner without the ball. There is nothing about saying you may move into the runner's path in an attempt to catch the ball. That is not a high school rule. So we have, if obstruction is called, R1 is awarded first, or F3 may not block the entire base until he clearly possesses the ball on a pickoff play. Which one is the best answer? You guys said C. Did anybody say B is in boy?
Well, B as in boy is also correct. If obstruction is called, R1 is awarded first.
Why is he awarded first?
It's already on first.
If one
Doesn't he get second?
there's a pickoff play. It's a pickoff play
You
now.
award what
So
base?
F1 is attempting. Okay, F3.
You award a base, minimum 1 base.
What's the obstruction rules state, Carl?
I just remember Vic telling me this, that if in this scenario, if he's attempting to get back to first and obstruction is called, then he gets first. Vic was clear on that.
No.
And that is my
was wrong.
basis. Is Vic on this call? Wake him up, somebody.
Promise
I know he's in
you.
retirement.
Vic is wrong. I promise you, Vic is wrong.
Boy, the
We've
rust
gotten that
sets in
wrong a
quickly.
lot.
Now, he better be out for me to give him second. Let me just be clear, right? If I have obstruction going back to first on a pickoff, he better be out for me to award obstruction. If not, I'm just going to tell him don't be in his way. Now,
Okay, understood.
that's how I would officiate it. It's not what the test wants. If he's obstructed at all, he gets the next base, right?
Well, see, I think that's what I answered. I'm gonna go back through my test, but Susan Charlie is what I believe is what I answered.
Charlie.
I picked C on mine. That was on my test.
Okay.
So Steve, let's make the play at home. Run around.
Well, that's not a pickoff, Bill.
Can I suggest another scenario, please?
No.
Counselor.
Different scenario. Go ahead, Bill.
Tyrone, do I have your permission?
Case law.
So runners coming home, throw in from the outfielder. Catcher is blocking the entire plate. And the throw is maybe 20 feet away, but it's not in his glove yet. And then there's contact, runner to the catcher. And let's assume he's blocking the entire plate. You're saying the high
Hold on.
school rule
Hold
is
on. Yeah, we're going to stop there. Did the catcher hinder the runner
yes,
without the ball?
yes.
Stop there.
Okay.
Obstruction.
If he
Now-
hinders the runner without the ball, it is obstruction every single time. If you have contact on a play and the fielder does not have the ball yet, you have to have either obstruction or interference.
Well,
Something.
and not all, well, but if he's going to get the ball
Don't
and
care.
make a play, that
No. Well,
that's
on a hit
different.
ball, you're going to have
That's a train
either
wreck
obstruction
play.
or interference, right?
Okay.
A hit
What
ball-
rule would supersede? What rule would supersede what? The catcher's blocking the plate and the runner leaps the catcher to touch home plate.
Okay. So before he finishes that leap, What happened first? Why did he leap?
The catcher was blocking the plate.
So you have obstruction. If you're thinking about it this way, if this is home plate, okay, this is my catcher sitting on home plate. This is my runner, and he's running. The moment he starts to leap, because he's blocking home plate, it's obstruction because he's altering his path to get to the base because there's a fielder in his way. The leap doesn't actually happen until he physically crosses him, right? So obstruction happens first.
But now if the throw takes him up to the third baseline a
I
little
don't
bit.
care about the throw.
Well,
I do not care about the throw. There is nothing in the book that says the throw can take him up the base. That is not in the high school rule book. It is in other rule books. It is not in high school. If there is contact between a fielder and a runner, you must have interference or obstruction. End of story. You will not have interference if it's a thrown ball. So it must be obstruction on a thrown ball.
So in the event of a leap, whether it be at home or any other base, if the base fielder is blocking the path in the immediate area of the base, the leap is ignored and obstruction is called.
I'm calling obstruction because it happened first.
My next question is, what in that wine glass are you drinking?
Why wouldn't you call obstruction first if it happens first?
No, I mean, that's a good question. No, I'm
so
asking
Steve,
you.
so Steve, you're saying in your scenario, there is no situation where a train wreck play would ever happen then.
There's no such thing as a train wreck in high school sport, in high school baseball. You either have obstruction or interference if you have contact. You have contact without the fielder having the ball. You have to have one of those two. There is nothing in between.
So back to the play at home.
Yep.
And the runner slides into the catcher, doesn't have possession of the ball. But in your judgment, the runner did have a lane to the plate. So you're going to reward the runner for that?
I'm not rewarding anybody. The book does not say, it says hinders the runner's path. The runner chooses his path. Clearly, I'm not going to let him choose the pitcher's mound, right? But if he's in a path that is reasonable, it's obstruction, right? Think about it this way, Bill. In your example, right? In your thought process on, well, he gave him a piece of space. What if the first baseman is standing on the inside corner of first base? You got obstruction if he's hit a double or not?
Yeah, but that's different than a play at home.
Bill, it's the same thought process. You just said that if he gives him a little piece of the base, it's not obstruction. Well, if you're going to apply that at home, you have to apply it to the other bases, right? If it's going to be obstruction at first, it has to be obstruction at home. The runner chooses their path. It's the catcher's responsibility not to be in their way. Now, I will not allow the runners to go out of their way to get obstructed, right? I think we can all agree there. But he does not get to choose what side of the plate or what side of the base he wants to take away from the runner. Because the runner can slide based on wherever this ball is coming from, right? So keep that in mind. If you have contact in a high school baseball game with a fielder that does not have the ball, you either have obstruction or interference. You will not have interference on a thrown ball unless it's intentional. So you have to call something. There is no train wreck. There are train wrecks in other sanctions, not high school.
No, I see your thought process.
There is the obstruction and interference in high school is very clear. Okay. In the sixth inning, R3 on third and 1 out. B3 hits a fly ball. Center field for the second out. R3 tags up and scores on the play. Immediately after the play is over, it is determined the center fielder is an illegal player. What are we doing?
Oh, I had this question. I got it wrong. I don't know.
Did you get this question? All right, somebody take a stab at this. Number 30.
You want me to answer?
I want Charles to answer.
Okay.
Charles, you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to read the question to better answer it. I'm still here.
This one was on my test too.
And I don't remember what I answered.
It's probably one of the three I got wrong, so you don't want me to answer
I'm afraid to submit my test.
it.
Charles, want to take a gander at this?
Steve, you want me to
Yeah,
go?
I'm gonna say, notified. I'm gonna say B.
You're going to say B. What's your thought process?
Best answer.
So
Oh, I
what's your
remember
thought
this. Yes,
process?
I had a
What's your-
question about
What's your
this.
thought process there, Charles? I'm not saying you're right or wrong. What's your thought process?
Legal player. Where is that?
It's the legal player. It says B3 hits fly ball to center fielder for second out. R3 tags up and scores. Immediately after play is over, it's determined that the center fielder is a legal player. So the offense, I figured that I did a process elimination that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that is the correct answer, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
Or the correct answer is the offensive team may choose whether to allow the play to stand or nullify the previous play and have the batter come back to bat with the previous count. Okay. The center fielder is not immediately ejected. He is no longer an eligible substitute. If he comes back again, then he's then I believe the head coach is ejected, but B is the correct answer. Okay. All right, this is a good one because it's probably going to happen to you if it hasn't. And if it hasn't happened to you, well, you haven't gotten close enough to the catcher yet. The runner on first, F1 delivers and R1 breaks on the pitch. The umpire interferes with F2 and the throw goes into center field. R1 tries for third and is thrown out by F8. Mickey or Mikey? See, you're unmuted now. Gant?
F2 being the first baseman?
F2 is
no,
catcher.
Catcher?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
F2 is your second best friend in the field, right?
So you're talking about the plate guy interferes with the catcher.
The plate umpire interferes with the catcher, correct.
This happened to you at Clay last year.
It did? It did.
Yeah. It did. I remember distinctly.
Did he throw him out anyway or no?
No, you stopped the game and put the guy back on first.
Okay. So is that the correct ruling? I mean, probably. I enforced it.
Yeah, you
Right.
enforced it.
You're gonna return them, right? It's not the catcher's fault that they hit you, right? And you can't punish the offense for the catcher hitting you. So you're just gonna kind of reset. You're not gonna punish the catcher by him not being able to throw him out. You're not rewarding the offense because you got in the catcher's way, right?
Correct.
All right.
So what was the answer?
R1 is returned to first.
Okay, so B. Okay.
Yep, the initial throw from the catcher did not retire the runner. You have to put the runner back. Starting player has been removed from the game once, re-enters in the wrong position in the batting order. He is considered to be what type of substitute?
A.
You said A?
I did,
Why is he legal?
because I looked it up in the rule book.
The starting player, so he's hitting third, playing first base, comes out of the game, goes back in to the 7th spot in the order. Is that legal?
Nope. The answer
No.
is C. He's an illegal
C.
substitute.
So it can't be A.
Oh,
It's been
I'm
reported.
sorry.
It's C.
My bad. No, I misread the question. That's why I get half mine wrong, by the way.
Right? It can't be B. And I wish batting
This is
out.
batting out of order, which is an illegal substitute.
It's an illegal substitute, correct.
Yeah, that's my answer. I got that right.
All right. At the beginning of the 3rd inning, the head coach tells the plate umpire Baker will bat for 4th batter in the inning. Davis, if the inning lasts that long. Wilson comes to bat instead of Baker. He does not tell the umpire. With no outs, he hits into a run-scoring double play. What's the ruling? What's the ruling here, guys?
I got C because a couple weeks ago you said a sub is not official until he actually comes to the plate. You can talk to the coach about it and you can be courteous, say, okay, coach, we'll see how it goes. But if somebody else comes up when it's that person's time to hit, that's the actual sub, not the coach, not the one the coach told you. So it would be an unreported sub and you would just fix it.
Yep, that's right.
Absolutely, right? So we cannot take projected substitutes. However, right, I will be courteous. Coach, I'll mark these down. However, these are not official. You need to remind me when they come into the game that you're actually making this, right? So we can't technically take substitutes ahead of time. Okay. All right. The plate
Great
umpire.
job, Jeremiah. Great job.
The plate umpire gives the do not pitch signal. What's going on?
Dead ball.
That's it.
It's a dead ball.
That's
Is it immediately? Is it dead for 10 seconds or is it delayed?
Immediately.
My hand is up.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
It is dead immediately, correct. All right, we talked about foul tip already. A runner is standing on second base when a line drive hits him. The second baseman was playing in front of him and did not contact the ball. The shortstop was behind the second baseman in position to catch the line drive. Huh. What do you got? This I'll take from Bill or Tyrone or Rolo. This isn't, or Jeremiah, Carl. This is a good one. This is a really good one.
I had this on my test.
Did you submit it?
Once the second baseman makes an attempt on the ball, I don't care. Once the second baseman makes an attempt, I don't care if it hits the runner.
Well,
If it's somebody other than the pitcher,
But the
somebody other than the pitcher.
But the shortstop was behind the runner in a position to make a play. That's important.
It's C as in Carl.
He is in Carl. I remember talking about this. We actually went into detail on this, right? We went with there's a very specific rule.
His initial. It's his initial, but the question, the way I read the question, with them saying the second baseman playing in front of him did not contact the ball, meaning like I read it as the second baseman makes an attempt on the ball but doesn't contact it. So if that's not the way the word it's worded, he's just in front of him, then he is out because he's stopping the shortstop. But the way I read the question is the second baseman makes an attempt at the ball but doesn't catch it.
So what do you have, Jeremiah?
Well, then it seems like it's going to be C.
That's what I would have too. right? And
But let me ask you this: let me ask this. Sorry about the dog. If he plays in front of him and dives for the ball, but doesn't touch the ball, he still made an attempt at the ball, correct?
He did make an attempt at the ball.
Sir?
He did make an attempt at the ball if he dives for it, correct?
Okay. So at that point, does the contact have to be made? If he's making a play but just whiffs, does he have to make contact?
All right, so here's the rule. 8, 4, 2, K. The runner is out when he is contacted by a fair batted ball before it touches an infielder or after it passes any infielder except the pitcher and the umpire is convinced that another infielder has a play. So this is clear that the shortstop still had a play and he was hit by a batted ball, right? So he is going to be out because the shortstop had a play on the ball.
And Jeremiah, it doesn't matter if the first infielder makes a play on the ball. You could have a situation where you got a runner on second breaking to third, a ground ball in the hole between second and third. Third baseman doesn't move a lick. The shortstop is going over the hole, then in your judgment, the shortstop could have made a play. Then that runner is going to be out, even though the third baseman stood there and did nothing.
I get it on that one, but what I'm saying is when the player in front of the runner makes an attempt on a play and say he's going for it and the ball skips over him and misses him completely, he was making a play on the ball. But just because there's no contact, that the runner would be out because the shortstop happens to be standing behind the runner.
Correct. Yep, that's correct.
That doesn't that see again. That's one I don't. Anyways, we can move on.
The thought
Yeah,
process.
no, I agree. That makes sense.
Can I interject something, gentlemen?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm with Jeremiah, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm with Jeremiah, because I got it right on the test. The answer is the ball remains in place since the second baseman had a play.
That's what I'm saying. Once the first player in front of the runner makes an attempt on the ball, I got
All
nothing.
bets are off.
I don't care if he touches it or not. If he dives and misses it, just flat out misses it because he sucks, I'm not calling the runner out. Like that's just not. I'm not doing it.
Right. And here's the thing, right? Not only because I got it right, but because, like Jeremiah said, the second baseman could have made a play. Just because the ball did not touch him in any type of way doesn't mean he was not trying to make the play. Right? It says the second baseman is playing in front of him and did not contact the ball, but it doesn't say that he didn't try to make a play. So
what I'm saying from my perspective, right?
Yes,
I'm going off of what the book says, right? Not to say that Basha gives us great exams anyway.
Right.
Is the runner is out when he's contacted by a fair batted ball before it touches an infielder or after it passes any infielder except the pitcher, and the umpire is convinced that another infielder has a play. Right? So this, for me, the way I'm reading this, clearly the shortstop had a play. And yeah, it passed the second baseman, but it didn't contact the second baseman.
Right.
You don't have to.
From my perspective,
and remember, Steve, you don't have to make contact. You just have to make a play on it. Right?
Has to pass him.
It says contact. Is contact
or
so or after it passes any infielder except the pitcher, and the umpire is convinced another infielder has a play. It doesn't say anything about it touching anybody. It just says the runner is out when it passes another infielder, right? Is contacted by a fair batted ball before it touches an infielder or after it passes an infielder, except the pitcher, and the umpire is convinced that another infielder has a play.
Right. So D.
Clearly, the second baseman didn't touch it, and clearly the shortstop had a play on this ball. So he is out for being hit with a batted ball.
I disagree.
Understand what you're saying and you're reading. Either Farsha missed that one on me.
Mhm.
Just got lucky.
Past him. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no. So the ball went past the second baseman, and in my discretion, he had a play on the ball. So all bets are off at that point. It doesn't matter.
So you're not interpreting the rule correctly, Mark.
No, no, because you gave three scenarios. You gave one that if he touches it, and then phase two was if it gets past the infielder, and the umpire feels like he had a play on the
Another
ball.
infielder had a ball. Clearly, in this situation, the shortstop had a play on the ball.
Steve,
But it had already passed the second baseman. Though.
Doesn't matter. There was a player behind him that had a clear attempt to catch the ball.
But he might have been the second player.
The thing about this question is it doesn't say whether the second baseman was making a play on the ball or he was picking his nose. So if he's just standing there, like you said, as a third baseman, if he's just standing there and doesn't move, then I can get with that. Like I can get with the guy standing there, thumb up his butt, doesn't make a play on the ball hits the runner with the shortstop coming behind him. I can get with that. But if the second baseman or whoever is in front of the runner dives at the ball and misses the ball and it hits the runner, at that point, that player made a play on the ball. I'm not calling the runner out.
Yeah, but you're reading too much into the rule. Read the question. It's the question that we're looking at.
Let me read the rule a little differently.
I heard what you said, Steve. Like you don't have to read it again. But what I'm saying is like this question, like it's one of those questions that's it doesn't explain it well enough. Again, it doesn't say what the second baseman was doing. It just says he was in front of the runner.
So the book doesn't say that the second baseman needs to do anything. So here, let me cut out some extra fluff out of this. The runner is out when he is contacted by a fair batted ball after it passes any fielder and the umpire is convinced another infielder has a play. It says nothing about what the fielder in front does.
What rule is that, Steve? What are you looking at?
That is 842K.
Does someone have a case book on it?
You don't need a case book on this one, but I can pull one up.
I'm just talking out loud. 842K.
Bill, you have a case book handy?
615.
No.
I do. Okay. 842K. Let's try to find it.
Tyrone, you said you had the question. You got it right.
I sure
Right.
did. It was not one of the
Okay.
questions that they said I had wrong. I only missed 3.
There we go. Yeah, that question wasn't on mine, but you
And
can
like
get
I
it.
said, it doesn't mean that I was correct because I'm with Steve on the ruling of the book, right? I'm with that, but that's just how screwed up these tests are. You
That
see
question is unclear. That's right.
Yeah, that's how screwed up they are.
Because
I mean, I don't
logically, if
think
he's
all day
standing
long,
right in
but-
front of the runner, what'd the ball do? Go through him, go under his legs to hit the runner right behind him? I mean,
Did he blink and it went?
yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's like
Oh
it
my.
makes zero sense.
Here we go.
Don't get me wrong, guys. Again, I'm with that rule that Steve is reading, but I chose that answer and they came back correct. And don't ask me why, but that's what it did.
Okay.
Check something.
Okay. It's a ground ball and if it flies down against second base in position. Okay. Okay. Third out.
Gotta be 100. 842 plays in this thing.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Eight, 4, 2 situation. J might. And B.
J doesn't quite fit because if F4 and F6
Yeah.
are both behind the runner.
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking. I'm trying to talk my way through it here.
Here it is. Okay, 8-4-2 odd. R1 is advancing to second when the batted ball by A2 is dropped by A4 and is deflected to R1, or passes several feet to the left of F4, who's playing in front of the baseline. In either case, the ball then touches the runner. So we're going to ignore A. We're just going to go B. R1 is advancing to second when the batted ball passes several feet to the left of F4, who is playing in front of the baseline. The ball then touches the runner. Skipping A, going to B. The touching is ignored unless R1 purposely allows the ball to touch him, or, in the opinion of the umpire, another player who was in an infielder's position when the pitch was made had a play on the ball. So if you had a play on the ball, even if it gets past the fielder, that runner is hit with a batted ball, the runner is still out.
Understood.
Why is Ty get graded differently then?
Throw
I
questions
mean,
out.
this might hang up.
They do throw questions out all the time.
I don't know, and maybe they're gonna throw it out. I can't answer that, guys, but you know, it came back correct. That's all I know.
Well, I'm keeping my answer.
Yeah, stay with yours. See what happens. They may give you
I'm
correct.
gonna get it wrong.
I'm about to hit submit on mine, but
What happened?
so I'm about to hit submit on mine. I would have been doing it while I've been sitting here, by the way. I just want to go through it one more time. With R1 stealing a 1-out, B3 hits a ground ball to F4, who fields the ball and swipes in an attempt to tag R1, but misses him and errantly throws the ball out of play. I feel like we talked about that one already. We're going to move on. Runner on the second and third and 1 out, the batter's a deep fly ball to center field, which is caught. The runner at third legally tags in the play and touches home. The runner at second leaves the base early, and the throw beats him to the base, but after the runner had scored. Is this a force out or a timing play?
Force out. I don't have this question, but I'm guessing.
Why are you guessing this is a force out?
The runner on second and third and 1 out. The batter hits a deep fly ball. So if it was 1 out, it doesn't matter. The runner wants to score. Oh no, it's not. Okay.
Timing.
It's a timing play. That's a timing play. No, that's a timing play. I'm sorry. No, I misunderstood you once I read it. That's a timing play. I think.
It is a timing play. Yep.
You know, it's a timing play. You're right.
It's a timing play.
I guess so. My question on this question is when the ball, you said it says he left the base early.
Yep.
Right. So is the throw from center field coming back to second, or is it going to third? Because if it's going back to second to get the out before he comes back to tag, wouldn't that be a force?
Who's forcing him?
Well, I'm trying to think, because I mean, if it's obviously it's a timing. If he tags legally and he's throwing to third and he gets tagged out at third.
He has to be tagged going back to second, though. He has to be tagged going into second, is how I always think about it.
He doesn't have to be tagged.
No, he doesn't. Shit,
It's
no.
an appeal play, Jeremiah.
Sir?
It's an appeal play, right?
Yes.
No. That wouldn't-
So.
It
that's
would be an
exactly
appeal
what
if
it
he
is.
left early.
It's an appeal play. That's exactly what it is, right?
Say there was 2 outs in that play and the runner scores before the runner is out at second. Would the runner score?
2 outs here. There's 1 out. The ball gets hit to center field. It gets caught. Now there's 2.
Oh, yeah, correct. Okay, I get you now. Okay, so that, yeah.
Because clearly, if it's not the 3rd out, the runner always scores, right? So what we're discussing here is for that 3rd out at second on that appeal, does the run count or not if the run scores before that out was made?
If he gets him out at
It
third,
does.
if he scores before, it's a timing play, and the appeal doesn't matter because you got the out anyways.
That's still
But
an
if-
appeal, Jeremiah.
But
Well
if they
done,
appeal that he left early, is it a timing play then, or does the run come off if we give them the appeal at second base? Does the run score?
Somebody want to help Jeremiah?
Yes, it scores.
It is still a timing play, Jeremiah.
Okay.
Yep, it is still a timing play. A force is when they're forced, right?
No,
So physically,
I got you,
first,
man.
second,
Can I act, does anybody have that question on their test?
yeah, this was from my test.
It is?
Yeah, it was. That's
Steve?
I had it on mine too.
Steve, did you already take it?
No, it's actually sitting right here. Hang on.
Okay, when you take it, let me know what you got. Because the reason I'm asking is because I answered timing play on there and they said it was wrong. That's question 43 on my test. They told me I was wrong. And I was like,
Oh, I don't know if I have it. I have to go through here and find out if I have it.
yeah, I'm just saying though, stick with your answer. Don't change it because I'm telling you something. But that's what it was for me.
Well, Tyrone, I don't know. I got 3 wrong as well. I don't know exactly which ones I got wrong, but I answered that question as a timing play as well. So it might have been one of the 3 that I got wrong too.
Yeah, and I said it was a timing play and came back 43 was wrong for me. So
That's what I picked was timing play.
yeah. So I don't know.
To me, the question is deceiving because again, it doesn't say where the center fielder is throwing it. At the end of the day, it does say that the guy on second left early. So what if he left early, gets to third, and coach goes, go back, and they're throwing to get him out at second because he left early.
Please.
You understand what I'm saying?
Got it? Thank you. Jeremiah, I understand you definitely.
Yeah, I'm following him. Yeah.
But it's still a
Because-
timing play.
Sir?
But it's still a timing play.
Okay.
I follow you. But it's
Hey,
still
listen, that's what we see it as, but somebody else sees it different.
Again, the question is to me is deceiving. I mean, I'll leave it like that. I mean, it is what it is.
All right. Star 1 up first. Nobody out. 1 out count on B2. The pitcher fails to come to a complete stop and is called for a balk. His pitch is then wild and gets past the catcher, goes all the way to the backstop. R1 attempts to advance to third, and he gets thrown out of third. What do we got?
Nothing.
Think-
Dead
I
ball.
think Tyrone might think, let's let the out stand for a minute, right? Right? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got?
You
Get a
asking
dead ball.
anybody?
As soon as the ball's called. As soon as the ball's called, the ball's dead. Doesn't matter what
Yeah,
happens
it's
after.
dead. It's a balk.
Yeah, it's
100%.
the answer should be C.
The answer is C. Absolutely. All right. The runner and batter runner are both between first and second bases when the left fielder throws the ball at the third base. The ball gets past the third baseman and rolls into the dugout. What do we got? What do we got?
You got B. I don't know. Steve, you want me to, I'm gonna stop answering. That's my last one. The answer is B for me.
The answer is B. right? We're not going to push the leading runner home. If the batter runner can't get 2 bases because there's a runner in front of him, then he can't get 2 bases. Ah, this is a good one. With R1 on first and nobody out, R1 is stealing on the pitch. B3 hits a fly ball to left center field gap. R1, who has touched second base, stops and begins to return to first, believing that the ball will be caught. After R1 rounds second base on his way back to first, R1 and F4 collide while on the base path. R1 falls to the ground. B3 passes R1 as the, oh my God. B3 passes R1 as the fly ball hits the ground. B3 recognizes his mistake, stops and retreats to first base, and R1 goes to second and makes it to the base before the ball reaches second. Obstruction on F4 is called. Oh my God. That's a lot to take in. This sounds like a 10-year-old game, doesn't it? Listen, if you want to get better, I don't know, Mikey, I don't know how much experience you have, or Mickey, I'm sorry. If you want to get better, you go watch a 10-year-old game. I kid you not. Who wants to take a peek at this, because this is not an easy one. Go ahead, Carl. You can go for this one.
I have this question, and I put a lot of time into it. My answer, unsubmitted, is C. It's a delayed dead ball for passing R1. Oh, a minute. I put delayed dead ball.
Which one?
Well, my answer is a little different than yours. My answer on the screen is delayed dead ball. The umpire will award bases that will nullify the obstruction.
Yep.
No. See, my answer is different than yours.
That's okay. The answers could be in different orders.
Okay, my answer on mine is delayed dead ball. The umpire will award bases that would nullify the obstruction. In other words, I would not call the runner out for passing the other runner because the obstruction came before the infraction.
Bingo.
Great job. Great job.
That's why we would enforce it in the way it happens, why we would enforce obstruction before somebody went leaping. Right?
I'm doing a little happy dance.
All right. Talk about infield fly. We talked about obstruction, right? Obstruction is always one base. There is 2 DH questions. I hate these DH questions. Gump, the starting DH, is pinch hit for by Blue, a legal substitute. The role of DH is now terminated for the remainder of the game. The DH is locked into the position of DH and can never be replaced. Gump cannot return to the game. Let's throw that one out. Where Blue is now the DH. Again, same argument with this one as I had with the last one. I don't know what type of DH this guy is.
The refrigerator hydrant.
You have A?
I answered it. No, I answered it as a DH. I answered it as D as in dog.
That's what I would put too. Blue's the DH now because I don't know what kind of freaking.
They didn't
Well,
specify.
hey, we know he didn't say player DH, so he's got to be a regular DH. And Blue is a legal substitute, so that's what they is. He is now the DH because he came in for Gump.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
All right. With 1 out, R2 on second base, B3 swings and misses a pitch for strike 2. His follow-through hits F2 while he's attempting to throw out R2, who successfully steals third base. What is the correct ruling? Is there interference or not? If there is interference, what type of interference?
Yeah, you got batter interference.
Okay.
He struck the catcher, right?
You hit the catcher.
So we got interference. So the batter is out and the runner's returned to first. I don't know. I haven't looked at the answers yet. A. whatever, I mean, R2's on second base, B2 famous.
Yeah, that's correct. Let me look through the last 5 years, see if there's any good ones. If not, we'll let you guys go. All right. We already talked about obstruction a little bit. I don't really care about uniforms very much. Okay. If a runner on first who is forced to second interferes with the pivot man at second, interference resulting on a double play is not called unless the defense had a chance to complete the double play. True or false?
If I get 3, you got 2 and I got 2. If I get 3, I win.
True or false? What do we got here, guys?
Can you repeat that?
If a runner on first who is forced to second interferes with the pivot man at second, interference resulting on a double play is not called unless the defense had a chance to complete a double play or unless it was 33 degrees.
Ah,
I can tell you my answer, but I
Steve,
don't
you
know.
stupid.
Does someone else answer?
Well, that's just the
I
preseason
said
of
it's false.
County, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and it's 32 degrees and freezing. And what do we got? True or false? Do we have to have a chance at a double play?
I said B, false.
You have false.
I have false.
Anybody else?
If there's no chance at a play, I'm not calling interference. But you're probably going to tell me I'm wrong. So
No, I'm reading the question again. I didn't have this question, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip.
I'm
Maybe.
with Jeremiah.
Yeah, after I'm rereading it, if I had this question, I'd research it better, but I would say unless, the word unless is in there, unless the defense has a chance to complete a double play. So correct. Yeah, I would say it's a true statement at this point.
I'm just going to call Tyrone.
Tom?
Hey, how do you know if he had a chance at a double play? Because he interfered with him. So how do we know?
Well, I mean, I think the same thing. He has the ball, so he has to have a chance.
And he interfered with him, right?
So let me read you the rule.
the question doesn't say he had the ball.
Well, he said he interfered.
All it says is he interfered with the pivot man at second. It doesn't say the pivot man had the ball or the ball was coming to the pivot man. So if the ball's not heading to the second baseman and there's no chance that they're going to turn a double play, I'm not calling interference.
Hold on, Jeremiah.
Well, yeah.
Let's read the question real quick.
Ball, I agree with you, but the question doesn't say that.
Hold on, Carl. Can he interfere with a player that doesn't have the ball?
No.
Not in my opinion, no.
No, because you'll have obstruction.
So he has to have the ball because it says interferes. It says you have to infer that he has the ball, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So in this
committed interference.
The rule says any runner is out when the runner does not legally slide and causes illegal contact. In this case, they're telling you it's illegal contact and or illegally alters the actions of a fielder in the immediate act of making a play on a forced play, does not slide in a direct line between the bases, or a runner may slide in a direction away from the fielder. This didn't happen, and runners are never required to slide, but the runner elects to slide. The slide must be illegal. Jumping, hurdling, and leaping are illegal attempts to avoid a fielder as long as the fielder is lying on the ground. Diving over a fielder is illegal. So it does not say that you need to have a double play to call him out here.
So the answer is B, gentlemen. B.
It's false. Okay. Are there any other questions you guys want to go over, or do we want to call it a night?
If Ty were doing the game, he'd get 3 outs.
That's right. Hey, Bill, and we'll be going home.
Hey, Rolo, put me with Ty one night, please.
Anything else, guys?
Hey, Steve, great job. Anybody got any more questions before we close this out tonight?
Yeah, I think we're not gonna have one next week.
Yeah, we should be pretty much done with this, right?
Yep. If anybody has questions, you can reach out to myself, Tyrone, Rolo, Bill. Might get a lawyer answer though.
Yeah, Laura, Bill may take you to a scenario, so I just like go straight for the answer. But anyway, guys, thank you for being here. Steve, great job once again. I appreciate everybody participation. Steve, do me a favor on that question. Just let us know what do you get on it once you submit it. Me and Mark already said they dinged us, so on that time and play.
Yeah.
So
I
just
have to go in and kind of recopy down my test now that all the questions, because this was my original test, and I still have most of these questions, but they're now all out of order, so I won't know what I got right or wrong until I copy them down. So give me a few days to do that.
yeah, because what I did was made copies of mine and then I submitted my test so that I would know which ones that I missed. But anyway, thank you guys.
Hey,
Remember
so
Friday.
I was thinking about that, Tyrone.
Uh-huh.
If I'm just gonna assume that they're throwing it back to second, right? To get the force out because he left early. But if that's the case and the runner scores, he legally tags from third,
Right.
and he scores before that force out is made at second,
Yes.
then it would still be a time and play.
You're correct, because that's not a force. He don't have to leave. He do not.
No.
That is correct. Just
So.
remember, guys, on Friday, 6 o'clock at Middleburg, one last shot to look at some guys throwing the ball. And the following week, guys, I guess we got wheels up. We're gonna really get into it.
Hey, they're at bowls too, right?
Yes, I think Rolando got something for the veterans.
All right.
Something at bowls that he's got
5
going
o'clock.
on. Yeah. So
Cool.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Steve, appreciate your time. Everybody else, appreciate your time. I'm signing out.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again, Steve. Have a great night.
You too.
Take care.